Welcome to JECK Radar. Today, our focus shifts to a dramatic new front in the ongoing conflict gripping the Middle East, one that's emerged not on the battlefield, but on the streets of Tel Aviv. In a powerful display of internal dissent, thousands of Israelis have taken to the streets, protesting the war in Gaza and demanding the immediate return of the hostages. These are scenes of raw emotion, with clashes erupting and police making arrests as citizens confront their government amidst a deepening crisis. This massive outpouring of frustration comes as crucial U.S. truce talks continue to falter, leaving Israel and Hamas at a dangerous stalemate over ceasefire conditions. Let's delve into this critical moment. For months, the images from Israel have largely focused on military operations and national unity in the face of conflict. But now, the narrative is shifting. Thousands of Israelis from all walks of life converged on Tel Aviv's major arteries and squares, transforming them into a powerful arena of protest. Chants demanding the immediate return of the hostages echoed through the city, often coupled with calls for an end to the war in Gaza. The demonstrations were anything but calm. Footage from the ground reveals dramatic clashes with police as authorities moved to disperse crowds and clear blocked roads. There were reports of arrests, highlighting the tension between the state and its dissenting citizens. Amidst the chaos, powerful speeches resonated, delivered by hostage families, former military officials, and civil society leaders, all unified by their desperate plea to bring the captives home and find a path out of this devastating conflict. This surge in public anger underscores the growing internal pressure on the Israeli government, exposing deep divisions within the nation as the war stretches on. The intensity of these protests is inextricably linked to the frustrating diplomatic deadlock surrounding the Gaza conflict. For weeks, US-led truce talks have faltered, leaving hopes for a ceasefire hanging by a thread. The core issue remains a fundamental stalemate between Hamas and Israel over ceasefire conditions. Hamas continues to demand a permanent end to the war and a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza as prerequisites for a comprehensive hostage release. On the other side, Israel insists that any ceasefire must be temporary, allowing it to resume military operations if Hamas retains control or weapons. The gap between these demands is immense, making breakthroughs incredibly difficult. Both sides blame each other for the lack of progress, even as international mediators, including Qatar and Egypt, continue their tireless efforts behind the scenes. The failure of these talks fuels the despair and outrage seen on the streets of Tel Aviv as families of hostages grow increasingly desperate with each passing day. The sheer scale and intensity of these protests mark a significant moment for Israel. Such widespread public dissent during an active conflict puts immense internal pressure on the government, forcing it to contend not just with external threats, but with a deeply fractured domestic front. This internal turmoil could force a re-evaluation of strategies, or it could lead to further hardening of positions. Beyond Israel's borders, these protests will undoubtedly resonate globally. They highlight the immense human cost of the conflict and add a new dimension to the international pressure already building on all parties to find a resolution. As the diplomatic path remains blocked and internal dissent grows louder, the future of both the hostages and the region remains agonizingly uncertain. The eyes of the world are watching, hoping for a breakthrough that can end this cycle of violence and despair. The dramatic scenes in Tel Aviv are a powerful reminder that even in times of war, the demands for peace and human lives can rise above the clamor of conflict. The voices of those desperate for the return of their loved ones echo the urgent need for a diplomatic solution. What are your thoughts on these protests and the ongoing stalemate in the Gaza ceasefire talks? Do you believe internal pressure can change the course of this conflict? Share your perspectives in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to JECK Radar for more.